So what's the actual data that is going to generate this page? Well, I have here with me a CSV file. It's called NAS Goa. And this file has details about students in the state of Goa. To be precise, there are about 6,600 odd students, each of whom have a unique student ID. They belong to a certain district. There is in Goa a total of 2 districts. They all have the same, they all have genders, boy or girl. They all have an age group, which can be 0, which means missing, less than 11 years, 11 to 12 years, and so on. They all belong to a set of categories. We're not going to go into what those are, whether they studied in the same language, whether they had 1 sibling, 2 siblings, and so on, whether they are handicapped or not, whether their father's education is degree and above or illiterate, and a whole series of things. And finally, also their scores in mathematics, reading, science, and social science on a 0 to 100 scale, effectively as a percentage. So if we want to read this data and render it, then we'll be using Tornado templates to do this. One of the functions that helps us read data is grammix.data.filter. Let me explain where you can learn more about this. On the Grammix guide, which we'll find here, right at the bottom, there is an API reference. The API reference gives you access to all of the internal Grammix functions. Well, not internal, these are exposed to you and they are available in File Handler. So one of them is filter, and it is under the module grammix.data. So if you import grammix.data, you get access to grammix.data.filter. And what this can do is take any file, like our CSV file here, and then you can pass it arguments that will filter it in a variety of different ways. And what we'll specifically be doing is passing arguments from the handler. But more on that will come shortly. First, I'll show you how you can take a data set and display it. For that, first we need to add the data set here. So I'm going to take NAS Goa. I have this file here. I'm just going to drag and drop it into Visual Studio Code. It's uploaded and I have this CSV file out here. Now I'm going to read this file. Let's get rid of all of this code. I'm going to read this file, and the way I read it is by first importing grammix.data and then setting the value of, let's call it data, is equal to grammix.data.filter of the file name. And the file name here is nas-goa.csv. What this does is loads the file. Now, this is very efficiently cached. What I mean by that is if nas-goa.csv hasn't changed, then it's not going to reload it every time into memory. It's just going to load it into memory and keep it there so that this operation, then the second time it runs, is practically instantaneous. And then we want to display this. So let's say we display something simple. I mean, the whole data set is huge. We can probably display the size of the data set. So we'll say the data has, let's see how many rows. We're going to say len of data rows. And maybe we'll also put in a small preview of this. So, but we'll come to that later. Let's just take a quick look at what the output of this is going to be. Reload it. Now it says data is 6674. And you'll notice that it didn't take too long. If I reload it, it actually reloads pretty quickly. And you can see that by the flashing of the icon here, it's happening practically instantaneously. So we have 6674, we should say rows to be grammatically correct. And let's make a quick preview of this. A fast way of getting a preview of the data is by saying data.to_html. That will convert the entire data set into HTML and display it as a table. But this data set has 6,674 rows. Now that's too much. So maybe I'll just take the first 5 rows, head, first 5 rows, convert it to HTML. Let's see what this does and see if it really works. Reload. And yeah, kind of, it's rendering table, but it's actually rendering the table HTML code. Behind the scenes, it's escaping the content. That is because by default, auto escape is turned on. And you can see out here that you can put in the template syntax that you can set an auto escape to none. What that means is in that particular template, it will no longer auto escape. Or you can replace double curly brackets with brace percent raw, whatever content you have. Let's do the latter. Auto escaping is generally a good thing. So let's keep that on. So we'll tell GramX, look, just for this table, I don't want you converting all the invalid HTML to valid HTML. I'm actually generating the HTML itself, which is what 2HTML does. So please use this as raw data and see if GramX is helping us. Well, yes, kind of. It has a table. It looks ugly, but it has all of the data. So if I just wanted to do a quick preview to see if things are working and what's happening, then this is a good way of doing it. So what we've done now is rendered the data, but I don't really want all of this data. This app was nice. It just showed the marks in a particular subject and based on a particular characteristic. So I want to say for a particular impact, for a particular subject, I just want to get that information. So let's put in a couple of variables. We'll call the impact variable set, let's say impact is equal to what we want the impact for, let's say reading a book. That should be one of the columns in the data. Let's verify that. Read a book is in fact a column. Great. So I want the impact for reading a book, and I want the subject to be, what do I want the subject to be? Let's pick a column, social percentage. So I'll take the full column name, social percentage. So now I can say, I don't want all of this data, just show me the following columns. So we'll use the pandas syntax, that is show me the impact column and the subject column. So given these columns, let's see what the output looks like. And that's, at least from a data perspective, closer to what we had. It's saying reading a book. The first student has never read a book and didn't take the social science exam. The next student read books once a week and scored 58. Next student also scored 54% by reading once a week, and so on. So now that we have this data, the next step is to do the analysis. The analysis that gives us all of this result, and then start printing that as a table and then making that pretty. How do we do the analysis? Well, all of the analysis is going to be done using pandas, and I'm going to introduce the pandas library to you next.